The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, the Memorial Picks, one and done, bets, field preview, recap from last week. We got it all for you, plus some giveaways, but an announcement to begin the show. If you want to get into the Pat Mayo Experience DraftKings Listeners League, it is a condensed field this week. This is an invitational tournament only, so going along with the Memorial, and it's only 120 players. You can find the link in the description of this video or podcast, but I believe it's only 2,000 or 2,500 people this week. I didn't want to have to go promote it. I'm going on vacation in about 2 hours, so that's what we're dealing with this week. We'll be back to normal for the Canadian Open next week, and then hopefully another 100K one for the US Open, but that is in the description of the video. Also, if you want to get into a draw for 20 DK dollars, smash the like button for the episode, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, and tell me who your one and done is going to be at Muirfield Village this week at Jack's course. Throughout the week. I mean, it's not like I'm just going away and leaving you with nothing. Tomorrow, Jake Seeley will be on the show breaking down the first run of running back tiered rankings for the 2019 fantasy football season. Wednesday, Cuss Corner 19, a very good show. Thursday, the UFC show is going to be out with Paul and Cody, and then Friday we'll have a challenge recap. So new shows every single day, but this will be the only golf for the week. I'll have my DraftKings cheat sheet up on dkplaybook.com as well. That'll come out Tuesday, and I'll have my betting cheat sheet up on Wednesday for the finalized picks on my Facebook page, facebook.com/thepme. My write-up is up there right now, and I want to encourage everyone, since, you don't get all the 4 hours of bad picks from me this week, you only get like an hour of bad picks from me for golf purposes, go become a member at fantasynational.com today. Get yourself acclimated with the system because the US Open is coming up and there's going to be $1 million top prize. And if you only want to play $10 entry on DraftKings, there's a $250,000 grand prize. So it's a good time to become a member at fantasynational.com. And we got some extra money to play with. Jeffrey Fienberg. We won.
A little less. I had to pay for this haircut.
I had to pay for the haircut. I upgraded my tickets to first class after Kevin started running away with it. I have never been in a situation more where I felt just flat the entire time. Like, it felt like Na was either going to run away with it or he was just going to absolutely gag it. I had no real feel for it either way.
Maybe it was the combination of the icebox we've been here.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've hit a winner. I'm not going to
lie to you. But also
the
fact that it was Kevin Na like a year ago, I'd have woken up Sunday with like confidence, a swagger. I woke up Sunday like defeated. Like, how bad is this going to end? Even we had like a private exchange, like he hasn't teed off yet, but I feel like we are dead money. And boy, oh boy, he did something Saturday that really impressed me. His great 3 par saves through what they call it, like the horrific horseshoe.
Horseshoe?
The horrible horseshoe, 3, 4, 5 there that he survived. And he made that horrible double on the par 5 because apparently the story is a woman's like phone went off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what happened to him?
That was the story.
He struggled again on that hole on Sunday. He ended up making par out of it instead of double. But
yes.
He sculled it from the sand over the green, then couldn't get it onto the green with his up and down.
And then had to hit like almost a full 5-footer. Yeah, that would have been a real nervous one. But it almost felt like a different guy because after that double where he had that horrible bunker shot, after the first lip bunker shot that apparently something, like I said, with the woman on a phone. But whoever was the on-course reporter said he was like laughing. He was kind of in a good mood after that like 3-second spaz. Then he made a great bounce back. But it's easy to say anytime someone wins, like, where is this? Like, this guy could be so good. But what I don't know. He really showed me a lot. And a lot of toughness. It's his second win. We talk about the players in this calendar year that have 2 wins. It's a crazy group.
He only has 1 win.
Didn't he just win?
He won Greenbrier last year.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So and Greenbrier's like far away now, isn't it?
It's like 3 weeks from now, isn't it?
Okay, sorry. So 2 wins, and I don't know. Maybe there's could weasel in some President's Cup points, but I don't know. A guy to be so easy to be happy for, and he is.
He's fun to watch, if nothing else. He's like swaggering. He's leaning with every putt. Yeah, and it's like he's falling down every time he hits a fucking tee shot. And it's fantastic.
And he's not. I could be wrong. But compared to some other guys, I don't even think he's a slow player anymore.
No, it feels like he got the yips out. That was his biggest problem. That like he would get in his own head, then he like couldn't hit a shot anymore.
He's very methodical in his pre-shot process, but we know slow players, and to me, he is not really one of them.
The guy who was going to make the run at him was Furyk, because Furyk was all over the pin and then couldn't make a 4-foot putt. He missed like 4 putts inside 10 feet in the first 6 holes, all for birdie. And then Cuss took to the Twitter machine as soon as like Furyk got on like the 12th hole or something like that. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh yeah, Jim Furyk is definitely going to win this. And then he put it in the water. So that was the end of him. Finau had the most legitimate chance to do it. He couldn't hit his irons well all week, though. He was putting well. He was driving well. He wasn't in a ton of fairways, but he was getting it up there. Huge. But he was leaving himself 20 feet for birdie every time and 2 putting for par. That was it.
Yeah, he couldn't make the putts. I
would
say
made the putts.
His iron play he didn't really stick it, but Kevin Streelman, if Kevin Streelman had the iron shots and the board positioning that Finau had, I feel like we would have like lost yesterday. Because Finau, it felt like every hole was putting for birdie from like 14 feet.
Yeah, and couldn't make
on Sunday. During the rest of the week, it seemed like he couldn't get closer to like 25, 30 feet really. But you could confirm for me, it might have been the greatest Tony Finau scrambling performance we've ever seen. Granted, a couple of them got away from him on Sunday, but even Na missed a couple 5-footers that he didn't miss really all week. But I would say at least for like 3.5 days, Finau scrambling, you couldn't ask for more.
I guess so. I mean, I just would have preferred him to be like regular Tony Finau and pile up birdies. I mean, that's not what he was doing.
That is.
I mean, I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, I was scared shitless about him. And the other part of it is I was scared that because he was gonna like dagger Na, I wouldn't be able to enjoy. If Finau wins, I'm gonna be like really happy, even if I don't bet him. The only situation I won't be happy is if him winning in that process daggers, the outright bet. But he was in that great position a couple groups back with his Ryder Cup captain. I was scared shitless of him. And he hosel rocketed that par 3. Yeah. That we thought went in the water.
Yeah, I was watching without sound, so I didn't hear them say it went into the bunker. I was like, that looks like it's in the water. That's fantastic. He made bogey anyway, so it was fine. But Na just didn't give it back. Like, he was making like 35-foot putts. Yeah. Hey, can we talk about Spieth for a sec?
I can't wait.
He's really close because the tee to green will come back. Like, he just can't hit an approach. I mean, he can't really drive it. He can't hit an approach, but the putting has returned. And this isn't just like a flash. Like, he's not going to make 150 feet worth of putts every single round, or even, once again over the course of 4 rounds. It was kind of outrageous. We saw the putting come back to earth on Sunday, but like, if he can just clean up his tee to green a little bit, he's winning. Like, he's that close because he's playing poorly tee to green and coming inside the top 10 now. So it's just going to click. So I'd watch out for him in the second half of the year if he can get this back together.
For the purposes of our head-to-head bet, I was very concerned that he was going to get one going into the week, and then it just became a comedy show. That was straight. He sold the rights to his firstborn for a new bag of magic beans. More beans! The Fatties franchise. You wish you had a Fatties franchise.
Do I?
Oh, that's my favorite line from Tropic Thunder, which has like hundreds of amazing lines.
That's your favorite line from
I don't know. It's just so good. I don't know. He's like jonesing so hard for his drugs. It's like you wish you had a Fatties franchise. I don't know.
I thought it was actually like, I mean, I'm neither here nor there on Spieth. I don't really care. But it seems like he's getting back to where he was. Like, it's all incrementally coming. Like, last year he had the green, couldn't putt. This year he's lost the tee to green. He's changing his swing, but the putting has now returned to a level where it looks like he's the best putter on tour again. And when he stands over a 35-foot putt, I now think it's going in again.
I know, but
and this is something he did for like 2.5 straight years. So it's not like it's inconceivable that he couldn't do that again. Because we see it with Jason Day all the time. It's not going to happen every single tournament, but putting is a skill. It's hard to project out. And if a guy is gaining like 20 strokes, like I think his 8-round stretch overall it was like him and Greg Chalmers, Super Nintendo Chalmers, had like the best 8-round strokes gain stretch like ever. But even if he cuts that in half or even down to a quarter and starts like being able to hit a wedge again, he's so dangerous. You just don't want to see, you don't want to hear it, but
I agree. It seems like it's very close. And good for him. He's finally getting like quality results.
Yeah.
Because there was a while where we saw great signs and then it would just like all go away. But I don't know. It's all got to click. He seems so lost and frustrated with every other part of his game, though.
I agree. But if you can get that confidence back,
Okay, so
maybe
we
some
get-
of the,
but
maybe, so like watch out for him. Like the Travelers is somewhere where I'd watch out for him. I'd watch out for him at the British Open.
He is going to play.
Hell, the U.S. Open is in play for him.
I know.
It is.
I have to. Oh, this year, Phil Wanpebble, you hit that.
Yeah.
I bet Spieth.
So did I. I bet Spieth.
But I like couldn't bet both. Like I just couldn't do that. I had to like pick one. I like picked the wrong one that week. And so obviously like I agree Pebble's in play, but I feel like if he's not in certain positions, he could.
Sure, he's going to remain highly volatile because of the putting, because we know that if he just has one bad round where he loses like a stroke and a half putting, he's basically toast for the week with the way that he's playing right now. But if he's going to continue putting like this, like it's kind of
He
insane.
can't putt like this.
No, not like this, like we saw, but some sort of
Even
40%.
half
of it is
it still insane?
half of it is insane, but that's like realistic for as good of a putter as he is. It won't happen every single week, but once every 3 tournaments, he can churn out like strokes putting. All of a sudden, you're looking really good.
You're probably going to turn this into me living my truth.
Mm-hmm.
But I swear, like the Spieth, and I mean, obviously the guy's won so many majors. Such a gracious, good young guy. He's got a legion of fans. They come out on Friday night like it is so obnoxious. It is so they move the goalposts.
Well, it's no different than like rooting for some shit football team that like goes on a 3-game winning streak, and you're just so fired up. It's like
But you can't-
things are happening.
You can't move the goalposts. Like you can't be the Patriots and then have the same standards as the Lions. Oh, it was like a nice week. Like, do you know what I'm saying? You can't have the things that get us excited about, like Luke List, you're not allowed to get excited about, like for Jordan Spieth. And I'm not talking about their skill sets or what's
No,
like
but
hot.
I think that's an interesting comparison because like we're enamored with guys like Luke List and Bjorn Hanan who have great tee to green games and they fucking suck on the greens. Like they're
Suck.
awful on the greens.
Awful.
And that, I mean, it happened for List. He gained 7 strokes at the PGA Championship and finished inside the top 10.
Yeah.
Great news because we know that can happen. But the reverse can happen too. That you can be a good putter and your tee to green game is just ass, and 1 week it clicks.
And
that's all
yeah.
he needs now. So the same, and you're right, the goalposts are different. So if you're Jordan Spieth versus Luke List or Ben Ann or one of these guys.
Your age, your resume, like it's a completely different what is good. Now,
But
if
he's done it before.
Yes, and
he's sustained it before, so he can get back there again.
the most dangerous thing a guy like Spieth can have, and almost any really great player, we've seen guys sort of have great returns. One of like the most famous ones in like my time being a big golf fan is like the juxtaposition that Stenson had in his career.
Yeah, when he got Ponzi schemed and lost like $40 million.
And he just like went all the way to the bottom and he got all the way to the top. And I'm not saying Spieth has hit the lows or even really come close to the lows that Stenson has hit. But when you've accomplished, and Jordan even has accomplished way more than Stenson, so maybe it's not even a fair comparison when they had their fall. But confidence is king for the jabronis. But when you get a guy like that just getting confidence and like feeling good,
That's what I'm saying
that
about this
is
putting.
I
Like,
agree. That is dangerous.
Well, he will not be able to sustain this sort of putting. Maybe it translates to the other part of his game, being like, well, I can be a bit more aggressive with my approaches and feel comfortable that if I do miss the green, I'm going to get up and down for par, no big deal.
And I always say this about other players who I'm like trying to make the case on betting. So you could always like sort of, I truly believe, so how could this not qualify for Jordan Spieth? Players of that talent, when you are seeing good signs, like you are seeing the birdies, but you're still seeing like the bogeys. As long as you're seeing the birdies, players of that talent, I have no doubt it's like the smallest little thing that makes those bogeys go away. And by thing, I mean like a fix in whatever it is you're doing. Like literally a fingernail size fix like all that gets cleaned up and the big numbers disappear for a bit, and you're just left with the pars and birdies.
Well, it's no different than how we talk about Patrick Reed every single week. Like when we bet Patrick Reed, you always get a better number on Patrick Reed, so you don't have to risk as much money to bet on these guys. But Patrick Reed will show up once every 5 tournaments, and all of a sudden he can drive the ball again. You're like, where was this the last 3 times we bet on you, pal?
And the thing with Spieth is, I could be wrong. I don't know what he's committed to or isn't committed to, but he's going to play like everywhere.
He should.
I feel.
He should. This is what we talked about with Tiger last year.
Like all those Wyndhams, like
events.
everything. He's going, I feel, and he's just going to play. He's just going to keep playing. So yeah. You're incredibly confident he wins this year?
I'm not incredibly confident he wins this year, but I think that he will.
He'll
win
win
one
funny
of these.
that the majors do actually lay out better for him as like the opportunities to win.
I think that once you start ratcheting up the difficulty of a course, that it plays to his favor because of what he does. Because other guys who are normally like, oh, we're just going to go out and make 17 birdies. Like, I don't think he's going to win. Maybe John Deere, I guess, but it feels like someone just goes out and hits better iron shots and makes those putts and wins at minus 24.
Would he even play John Deere, assuming it's in the same schedule spot?
He's won it before.
But he's with the week before the Open still, isn't it?
He might go. Who knows?
You
got to get a win somewhere.
I
Molinari played it last year and then won the British Open. Zach Johnson's.
That was amazing.
Zach Johnson's played it the week before.
Amazing. Yeah, no, you are right.
And Michael Kim was the one who ran away with the shot like minus 40 or something.
Yeah.
One of the best like tournaments of the year. Any other stuff from the Colonial? 3% of people on DraftKings had 6 of 6 lineups. That is like, we'll get to the winners here in a second of the giveaways and the people who won a ton. It was a great week for a lot of people, but anything else from the particular tournament? I wasn't sweating Mackenzie Hughes, I'll tell you that.
No. Oh, one thing. So I followed you and Adon with that Pan versus Spieth Saturday play.
I played it Saturday and Sunday. I didn't tweet it.
And he hits those balls. You're like, oh my God.
Right out of the gate, too.
Yeah, on the
and then Pan misses the 2-footer on 18 to lose it, to tie it.
It was like 4.5, but yeah, because I was really, I like that bet, and then like I re-upped again before they teed off. But I went back to the well on Sunday.
You had to go back.
Had to go back. So happy to get, but that was like, yeah. And Finau, I observe very closely when I'm watching. Now, mainly I'm like always sometimes looking at things that aren't related to the golf ball, like what they're wearing. He was not chomping the gum before this. I'm just saying, another guy to the chomping out there.
Okay.
It's the new thing. You're still into like the dip. I think Brooks is dipping still.
Okay. There's a Chelsea on Southern Charm. She was talking about her new man. She finds it very attractive that he dips. People should definitely be watching Southern Charm, by the way.
And not giving the car to his caddy.
Yeah, Nah seems like a good guy.
Great.
It's not like Nah doesn't have money. He had one win in his first, I think, 267 PGA starts. Now he has 2 wins in his past 20.
Oh, he's got, I know. He's got plenty of money.
He got like CH3 money. I'm
not a car guy, but I'm pro, like when we like rent a car, well, I guess before we had a kid, like I'm always into the Dodge Charger. It's a Charger.
I got to rent. I'm flying out of here in like 3 hours. First flight for the baby. Bringing him home to see the old fam. We got the car rented at the airport. Yeah. Renting a car at the airport is such a fucking ripoff. They charge you a good extra 15% on where it would cost to rent a car from anywhere else. Then we have to do it because we have nowhere to go once we get to the airport.
Yeah, what do you do?
I can get my family to pick me up. I can go rent a car somewhere else. It's the bringing back of that's convenient.
Or like, they can rent it in town, pick you up. But the airport there is so far, right? Yeah, I've been there a few times. Great, amazing place.
Well, I mean, it's closer than like the Toronto airport is, which is like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and there's not like big city traffic.
Yes.
Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors looking good. The city was crazy. I walked outside for a bit, during the fourth quarter. I switched locations. I was streaming it on my phone, and you could just hear noise coming out of every single building. Like every single person in the city was watching it. And I'm surprised there wasn't more like bonfires and fights. People were just genuinely excited.
Do you want to? The Toronto police reported not a single Raptors affiliated arrest.
That's insane.
Insane. And me and my buddies were joking. if the Leafs had won the East or anything, as the city would be burning. Like the toxic masculinity in that like party would be it just, I don't know. It seemed like a great party, and I don't know, great for them. They're my favorite team. I'm not a big basketball fan, so I'm not like, but all my buddies were of the age, like they came into the league where like people in our age, like,
yeah, I was 9 or 8
and
when
my
they
brother's
became
like
a team.
10 and a half. So like they were like right at that peak, like born into it. Now, the ones that do well for themselves can buy lots of well, not finals tickets, but so all my buddies, like everybody is living on a cloud right now.
Yeah, it's a lot like, I mean, I don't think that they win the finals. It's more like just don't get swept. That would be nice.
Yeah, but I don't think
go 6 or something like that. But the whole thing is like what the Raptors have done now is sort of like, especially if they won, which they probably won't. But it's like what the Blue Jays did in like 87, and then they came through in 92. And they created Blue Jays fans for the next 40 years. So if they can do this, it's very good for the franchise.
Yeah, and people they might not win, but people outside here, it is literally a Canadian heritage moment just making the finals.
Oh, yeah.
And in a nutshell, to sum up, Canadian heritage moments are these like commercials.
Yeah, they're vignettes.
They're vignettes that we would see on TV as kids that like highlighted great moments in Canadian history.
Pretty good drinking game too, to go through it and see if you can name them all. There's like 100 of them. But I was even talking about this with someone else, like after we were watching it. Like it's better for TNT and ABC to have the Raptors in over Milwaukee, right?
No, because they don't get the actual like ratings.
But
points.
They don't. But like even like I maybe just because Giannis is so good. But like you still have Kawhi. Like the interest in the series, like there can't be that big of a difference. Because it's not like Milwaukee's like coming through for you.
I'll be brief. One of my biggest like things that triggers me is this like talk of ratings. Why would anyone give a shit? If you like the NBA, this is a great final. If you just like watching big events, this is a great final. Why do you care that some schmuck on the 37th floor in like ad sales has to ask for a little less money next year? These leagues, these networks have these like 6-year multi-billion-dollar TV deals. Why would any like fan give a flying fuck what the TV rating is for the network? Like they don't. Are you getting greased? Like, is there a check coming in the mail if because you watched or your friends watched? I just don't understand that talking point.
It's twofold. Because the ratings talk doesn't exist in your day-to-day life. It exists on the internet because that's what people talk about on the internet. That's one thing.
Okay.
Stuff like that gets tweeted out. It's content. So you see it because you're absorbing
it's my
stuff.
truth.
It's not even that. It's just that's stuff that media people like to talk about. It's
yes, and I follow a ton of media people.
There's also exactly.
Not
so
like
so you see it a lot. Like
off-camera people, I mean.
True, but even like if you follow like Rovell or whoever, like they're talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
The other part is it doesn't really apply to the NBA, but when you start talking about like golf and soccer and hockey and those sorts of things, it's a very niche fan base versus stuff like the NFL, baseball, and the NBA. So you want people to enjoy your sport.
Yes.
Therefore, you do care about the ratings. Like, I don't give a shit about the NHL. I'm not going to watch hockey. But I assume that St. Louis versus Boston isn't optimal for the NHL. Now, if it was like Chicago, Boston, that probably does better ratings than St. Louis, Boston, if you get original 6 teams in there. Or even with the NBA, if the Knicks are good, that's good for the NBA.
Yes.
If Tiger Woods is in contention at a major, it's going to do triple the ratings, and therefore you care about golf, but now everyone's going to care about golf, so you like that too.
I completely agree with that, but I'm more arguing for like golf and tennis. That's really different. Those sports really do need the star power.
But so does hockey.
Every
so
sport,
does
like
MLS.
basketball. But I just mean the fact that if you're a fan of the sport, it shouldn't make really any difference in basketball specifically. I'm referring to these leagues that have the like 6-year,
the cachet, like they're
billion,
fine.
like the $15 billion TV deals that like there's nobody. It's only a room of executives or something, and like the ad people and what people pay that already bought.
Sure,
the company
it's not actually about the the ratings in terms of ad dollars and whatever. It's about, I care about this thing. I want there to be
Yes.
interest in this thing. And the ratings are just proof that other people
Okay,
enjoy
fine.
this thing you were wrong.
But-
People do like
yeah,
this.
Fine, but to me, the NBA is so big, like it's almost like bigger than that. I do agree with something like hockey or like the lower tier things.
Even
you want,
baseball was getting
yeah,
that way
you
now
want
too.
to see like, no, like us. I get that part of it. But to me, my argument, I guess, is more like NBA focused because the league is so big, because their TV contract is so big. Why like any random person cares? But you're right. I'm looking at it and seeing like, I follow these like Sports Business Journal, like all that sort of shit.
Yeah,
so
and they
I'm
talk
seeing
about that
it,
stuff.
and that's where they talk about it. But, I'm sure I don't know what it is. The NBA Finals always seems to be like sponsored by a movie. I'm going like way back. Remember like years ago, it was like Hitchcock, like that Will Smith movie, or the one with all those SNL guys where they like were parents.
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
Sure. The one with
Anyway.
like Adam Sandler?
Yeah, that they did like
David Spade?
yeah.
I don't know. Grown-ups.
Grown-ups. It
What's that
just seems
called?
like the NBA Finals is always like its title
Is
sponsor
it-
is a summer blockbuster.
Is it sponsored
like,
by
movie.
Aladdin this year?
I'm not sure what it's sponsored by. So I'm sure the person who might have like that like title sponsor for the finals isn't thrilled, but I don't know why anyone at home should give a shit about them.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some winners before we get into the Memorial. We got a lot of big winners, including me and you. I also had a very nice head-to-head day. I played 7 head-to-heads. I played 3 2-balls. I won 2 of 3. and
Someone screwed you.
I won 6 of 7 head-to-heads. I didn't, like, sometimes I just don't tweet out stuff. People were yelling at me, like, you didn't put these out publicly. It's like, I was busy. I just wanted to make some bets. Like, leave me alone. But, and like you had to be specific to 365 where I was making the bets because they weren't 2-balls. They were actual like head-to-heads. Nick Watney, it was Andrew Putnam who fucked me on both.
Oh, he got hot.
He just got hot, and I was against him with Blix, and I was against him with Watney. Watney played fine. Number 1 tee to green for the week, by the way. 71st in putting of everyone who made the weekend. He shot even, Putnam shot -4 and blew up my 7-leg parlay. But I won the other 6, but I played them all individually too. So very good week for me. Other good week for these people. Blay was in for $72 on DraftKings, won $8,400, including the Pat Mayo Experience Open. Aaron Favre, who spells Favre the correct way, unlike Brett Favre, won $2,000. Frickety Frack was in for $26, won $2,400. Rusco was in for $93, won $329 with Louis in his lineup. Not bad. Like I said, only 3%, 6 of 6. All of a sudden, you can win with a 5 of 6. And Charles LaRocco, the biggest winner of the week, had a 5 of 6 lineup. Still mad at Cust for cursing Xander. Played $462 worth of entries and won $21,000. And he was repping Fantasy National as his avatar too. So shout out to Charles. Shout out to all the winners. We had over 60 people tweet me, at least, with screenshots of them winning Kevin Na bets. I hit mine at 66. I think you hit yours at 75. Yeah. Like,
my buddy,
big numbers out
saw
there.
some huge ones, and even like I guess the peak number could have been
75, I think was the peak.
no pre-tournament. But I'm talking about, and that was a great little street book number. So
Yeah, I got
whatever.
66.
You probably could have caught an amazing number on
Round 2 in
Friday morning if Bet365, and sometimes they could be really slow. I don't even like to follow because I don't like just need to be tempted to do anything.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't even like to like be looking. But after his round 1, there's probably some great numbers when he started his heater on Friday.
Also a big shout out to Derek Farnsworth.
Oh, yeah,
At Notorious, he won $50K. Pete Jennings, yes, are you Ram? Almost won close to $100,000 this weekend on I think they both got the last second Spieth birdie, the meaningless Spieth birdie. Ended up pushing both of them over the top. It was like when Lisa was talking about when she presents to her class, the meaningless field goal to cover the spread at the end of the game. And it's essentially what that Spieth birdie was for those two on DraftKings. So shout out to those guys. Great dudes. Like I said, over 60 people showed me the Kevin Na tickets. Fantasy Specialist, shouted out to us, hey, let's give you a tip on this one. So I kind of gave him a tip. It's like, if you follow us for any extended period of times, we are not tip worthy. You've lost a lot of money with us. Enjoy the money, make a donation on our behalf. And he did. He donated $50 to save the children. So shout out Fantasy Specialist. But the big winner, guess who it was from the gambling world?
Oh, our boy again.
Yeah, Riku.
He's killing it.
He turned 120 into 6K at 50 to 1 on non street book.
And then he re-upped all weekend.
He re-upped 175 at 10 to 1, so it was 1750 win. Then he at plus 185 on Sunday turned $3,500 into 6475, over 10K in winnings for him for the week. He wins every week.
What? Imagine like feeling the need to like. You must be rolling so good when you like. Well, I'm gonna re-up on Kevin Knott 165 with that like board because I woke up scared shitless.
Yeah, I was just nothing it, just assuming it was gonna go very poorly.
Yeah, I had already.
I was like, hold on to the each way. We'll have a winning week. It'll be fine. But now he ended up just
he
nails
Oh.
Kevin Na. So great week for viewers of this show. Great week for Fantasy National members. Everyone should become a member at fantasynational.com today. And maybe the link will not appear in the description right away because it's like Memorial Day in the States. So like people are like off. So I probably won't get the link until later, but it'll eventually appear in the description. And here are some winners at 20 DK bucks from last week. Zanzir Golden, B Tomps 88, J Fine 131, Beck 6, Bilden FL, Linker Kid 25, Ty 94, Spiza, Cletus 12, 177, and Team Player were the winners of 20 DK dollars this week. Again, if you want to get into the draw this week, there'll be some in every show, but for this one specifically, smash the like button, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me you're one and done for the Memorial.
Na was my one and done because I have 2 entries. We play our game and then I have a game because I make this pick on Monday, and by the time I actually make the pick, I'm like, sometimes don't like it. But he was my one and done in the other.
Oh, sweet.
In my other entry. And maybe if we recorded on Tuesday or Wednesday, it might have been my one and done here. So, I went with Grill.
So you won last week because I had Molinari and Cust had Xander. He was last.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Memorial.
Grill.
It is Muirfield Village, one of the strongest non-majors of the year. Like, it rivals WGC in how strong this event is. There's 120 players in the field. It is an invitational. Same cut rules apply. And hey, we thought last week, hey, go stars and scrubs because, you know, your stars are going to make the cut. The scrubs won't. Then all the stars miss the cut.
Didn't 2 over 9K guys finish top 50?
Finau and Spieth both finished inside the top 10. So
I saw it's the status, or I don't know. At a pricing point, it was like 2 of them finished inside.
And Sabatini was 89. He finished
9K or over.
9K or over was Finau and Spieth. That was it. And Molinari was like 57th. And Rose was like 90th. Actually, not 90th because he made the cut. The cut rules are the same. Top 70 in ties. Muirfield Village. It's a course where the fairways are wide, but you do have to lay up on some holes. It's not just balls to the wall driver. So guys hit the fairway around a 70% clip. However, if you get into the rough, it's like US Open rough. You're screwed. The greens are super tiny, and they have the most difficult greenside bunkers on tour. Now, there's a great way to get out of that. Just don't hit it into the bunker. Put it on the green. You'll be doing a lot of good to yourself. But sand play, I did wait a little bit in my custom modeling. If you want to make your own custom model, super easy at fantasynational.com if you do. But longer approaches, 175 plus, par 4 scoring, 450 to 500 yards, and strokes gained approach. That's what I'm going with here. Who's that? Just without looking at anything, who does that sound like?
Well, because Cantley's scrambling is unconscious, it kind of sounds like him because he went from a guy that couldn't scramble to one of the best scramblers on tour.
That's a misnomer though.
It was but the stat. Yes, you were just looking at the stat or the tour ranking, and yes, that's not fair.
But it's not like he's been a bad scrambler. It's just he's bad at a greenside bunkers. That's not all scrambling is.
Fair. So maybe I was making the bunker.
But I believe he's first in scrambling this year, which is good. But he also just hits a lot of green and regular.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to scramble as much as other people.
Fair enough. Yes.
So let's talk about the faves because there's some big names in this field. We got Rory as the favorite, 9-1. Tiger, he's playing. He's won this event 5 times. He's 12-1. Rose has won before. He's 16-1. Spieth is 16. JT apparently is coming back. He is 18-1. Tricky Ricky lost to Duffner a few years ago. He's 20-1. Kuchar's won this event 20-1. Cantlay top 5 last year, 20-1. Finau's never missed a cut. He's 20-1. Jason Day, a local who never performs well at this event, 22. Hideki has won. He's 22. Xander is 25. And that is everyone below 30-1. I have not made a bet in this area, and I don't think I'm gonna.
You alluded to it. To me, this is the peak non-major WGC event of the year. Maybe it's the affiliation Jack.
Jack gets.
And Bay has this, but could you think of one like Tory, mate? Like, what is a better?
There's not. It's this.
Yeah, prestigious wise.
It was Bay Hill when Arnie was alive.
Yes.
That was the only comp. These two are very close.
Yeah.
In terms of like field strength, being an invitational, he can get on the. Arnie could get on the phone and be like, "Hey, Tiger, why don't you come play?" Okay.
I think they come out of respect and they'll come forever. And I think one day we'll have the same affinity for Riviera, right? Because isn't that the one that it feels like Tiger will?
Whatever one that Tiger and Phil decide that they want to do.
Phil go.
It'll be the same. Spieth.
Are we there?
No, we're not. We're
Okay,
like
Thank
35
God.
years away.
Not Byron Nelson.
We're
yet.
35 years
chill.
away from that.
No, but I mean, like
It's got to be Byron Nelson or Colonial.
He would need 3 more majors, wouldn't he?
You'd probably need like 4 or 5 more majors. Yeah, he's got time. He's like 25.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, what is the cutoff? How many majors do you need to like get one of these?
Well, what Phil has 6?
Yeah, Phil will get one.
So I guess 6.
Okay, fine.
That would probably be the number. So Brooks is almost there.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he'd have a whole lot of interest in doing it, but he can have like a long drive competition that he sponsors.
You never know. So I absolutely love this event.
Who's your guy from up here? Because you love Cantlay.
Well, I loved before I saw the board, but Cantlay is Finau. It's the same thing. Cantlay is Finau.
They've played too well without winning, and it's killed any equity you get in their winning odds.
And their major runs are like Cantlay is doing in the majors what Finau did last year. And as we joked, he's already down to like 30-1, which you'd argue it can't get lower, but I don't know. Like, if he has another great week here, I'm not really ready to pull trigger. Kuchar was a disappointingly low number. Usually we get a higher Kuchar one.
Yeah, you can't do it here. He's won here before. He's won twice this year, and he continues just to play well. All the courses he always plays well at, he's killing this year, and this is his best one yet.
Outside of Willett, my favorite ever betting victory was before we were together. I hit Kuchar here on my honeymoon.
Oh, really?
And just pay that. Like, that was just like fan-freaking-tastic. That was fantastic.
That sounds pretty good.
Yes. I wish I did the research.
There are 3 guys here for me. I don't know if I'm going to bet any
in
of
this under. Well, Xander's number, when you compare it to what you bet him to win the PGA Championship.
Yeah, I agree.
I think is a comp. And while the field is incredibly hard, it's not as hard. Like, you can't make that case. It's not Bethpage.
I agree.
So I think that's something that I will be thinking about till the very end of releasing a card, because I see a lot of great value.
And someone brought to my attention during the live chat last week that Xander typically has a really bad tournament coming off a major.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, I wish I did the research, but ask my high school teachers. That was never my forte.
I'm glad you don't hang on to your high school t-shirts.
When you're a big guy like me, some of them, and you've been consistently big, some of them can still hang around, bud.
Okay. I've had this hoodie for a while.
I got some old like Charger shirts. I swear to you, I could pull it out. You could match it to the year that was the sideline gear. It'd be scary how old it is. Where were we going? I wish I did the research to confirm my Ricky Fowler after a bad week performances. I'm telling you, they are peak.
Peak what?
Peak really good. So I'm really curious. Statistically, was Ricky like really bad last week? I know he missed the cut. He can't make them all.
He was. Let's see.
But from a statistical standpoint, I hope he was horrible. It would make me so inclined to get there.
Gained 0.3 strokes off the tee. He was bad. He was good around the green. Lost a stroke on approach, and he lost 2.5 putting. It was his putter that let him down. First time he had lost strokes putting since the Farmers in February.
And what did he do the week after that, buddy?
He gained 10 strokes putt. He pulled a Jordan Spieth.
And he won.
He was Jordan Spieth the next week.
Now, Mike, think about my stat as to Ricky playing very well after horrible. Might just be based on he never plays well at Torrey and always plays well at Phoenix.
Yeah.
But
his last missed cut before that is he missed the cut at the Players and came 14th at Colonial last year, where he gained 7 strokes putting.
I need someone to tell me.
He has not lost strokes putting in consecutive weeks since the Wells Fargo Players last year.
Can you go look at what he did the week before last year's Masters?
Last year's Masters, he was 43rd at Shell.
And his irons were bad.
His irons were bad, yeah. He hasn't lost.
And then he came.
He hasn't lost consecutive weeks with strokes gained. Yeah,
and he lost here in a playoff to Duffner.
Yes, he did. That was one of the biggest Andrew curses ever, because Cuss claimed it was over for Duffner after 36 holes when he was up by like 7 strokes. Then he shot 77 the next day. Tim gave up on the pick and Duffner came back to win.
Those are the best. I would, oh man, certainly not a major, but it'd be glorious to see Ricky step off and give Barb and Jack a hug.
So the 3 that I was really considering if I wanted to like splurge at the top, and I don't think I'm going on vacation. I just don't really want to have to deal with it. Tiger last year was, I believe, first or second tee to green. He lost 8 strokes putting. 8.
Yeah. And one thing we know about new Tiger is like in the past it was true, but it seems like this current version, because he's going to play so limited, his tracks are going to be his tracks.
Yeah. So I'd be very scared of Tiger here all week. So he's 12-1. I probably won't bet that. Kuchar actually does.
I know.
At 20. And the other one's Rose and Thomas. Just if Thomas is playing, I assume he's fine. And then it feels like you're getting a break on his number.
Okay, yeah.
But that just might be like how I build my DraftKings team this week. Check out my cheat sheet for that.
Xander doesn't tinkle anything?
Yeah, a little bit, but like I have the guy. I've already bet on the guys I want to bet on, and they're just not in this range.
Okay.
So
and it's amazing because Dave does love his wife's Ohio girl.
He sucks at the scores.
He loves like.
Do you know why? Because it's an irons course. You would need to be so good with your irons, and Dave isn't good with his irons.
Yeah. He wears his Ohio fandoms, like with all like Ohio State and all the sports teams. He's into it.
You want to go to the next level? Or anyone else you want to talk about? Like Rory's 9 like the same guys perform well here every single year, by the way. It's a good course history track if there ever was one.
I mean, this is unfortunate because Hideki's number always seems to like get to 40, 45 or come right back down here. And I guess there isn't real wiggle room. Yeah.
He's the last guy to win in his first career start here. And every winner previously, until Justin Rose back in 2010, had made the cut at this tournament the year before they had won. However, I went back and looked at the last 4 winners of this event, hadn't finished better than 46th in the last time that anyone actually finished with a top 10 in the year that they won at this course. I believe it was Hideki in his previous start. He was 10th or something like that. But everyone else is like miscut or 55th kind of thing.
Yeah, the one though, I'm really tempted I thought I could be tempted with Hideki, but the number is really low that I almost feel like I'd rather go to the guy in the 30s who almost has the same game but also can't putt.
All right, let's go to the next level then. Second tier of guys, we got Adam Scott.
That's what I'm talking
Adam
about.
Scott, Woodland, Bryson, the defending champ at 33. Then it drops to 50. Apparently Louis good this week. He's playing 50-1. Stenson's 50. Nas 55. So is Sabatini, Griot, and Phil. Leishman, Kisner, Hatton coming off a good week. Kokrak's back in the field. He's 80. Keegan and Billy Ho, 75 and 80. Glover's 80. Hautong's 80. Fitz is 80. Fitz is interesting, actually, here. List, Hoffman, and Kyle Stanley and Uline are all 90-1. I have 2 bets in this range so far that I have in. One is your guy, Gary Woodland, at 33-1. The other one is Stenson, who's the best player on tour with his irons right now and can't do anything else. But if it's a place where Justin Rose can win a golf tournament, eventually Henrik Stenson is going to win said golf tournament as well. And where this could potentially be a less than driver course, because it is. Like, you can't just go out and hit it 350 because you're going to be in the water or you're going to be in the rough. You have to play to where the course is. Like at Bethpage, he lost a ton of strokes off the tee because he just can't get it out there. Here, he can hit the middle of the fairway with his 3-wood every time and not have it be a big deal. Played this tournament for the first time in like 10 years last year, came T13, get a decent putting week out of it, and you're good to go. Henrik, King Henrik.
Yeah. Jumping quickly. Henrik, I had double question mark, so I was very interested on that just because of what the trends that you've consistently been bringing up. I think it's almost been a month now.
Past 6 tournaments, he's getting an average of over 5 strokes on approach per tournament.
It's all just got to happen. Hopefully, you got a ticket on Sunday. He's got those Terminator glasses on,
and you can each way him too. He's 50-1.
Woodland, I'm running into that fence with the cheese on the other side, but I will go back to it. I'm a sucker for this guy. Again, maybe I'm naive. I was hoping to see a better number.
Yeah, you weren't going to get it here. He's played okay here in the past. He was second tee to green at the PGA Championship. He was second in approach at the PGA Championship, only behind Brooks Koepka. He ended up coming T8, squeezed out a top 10 there. He just lost 4 strokes putting. So maybe you don't lose so much putting, Gary. And he's gained 2 of the past 3 years here, which is nice. that all of a sudden you start rolling in, gain 3 strokes putting. And
I-
all of a sudden you're in the mix.
I love Woodland. I say it all the time. If he was a stock, I would buy it. I think everything is going to happen for him. And it is Memorial Day. It's Memorial Week. It's the memorial. He's always rocking that Folds of Honor gear for fallen soldiers. It would be the symbolism for him winning would be perfect. Would be perfect. I really do like Gary. I do wish the number was a little higher. Adam Scott was a player I was referring to. I feel like him and Hideki are similar in so many ways. It would really take the identical things to go right for them to win. He doesn't play a lot, but I'm encouraged that like he's playing shortly after just playing where he played well. Because I feel like every time you see him play well, then you don't see him play again for a month. Like he's got that Tiger Woods schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really encouraged that like he's playing well and he's getting back out there. It's fairways, misses putts.
And everyone's going to hit the fairway this week. That's one thing. I was on Josh Culp's site, Future of Fantasy, looking at like the player interviews, and there was a big one with Adam Scott. He's like, I like it here. The fairways are wide. I don't hit a lot of fairways. I can hit them here.
So that's one that's interesting. And I made the comment with Xander as it pertained to his just comp to his numbers recently. But I can't make that comp with Bryson because I'm just like, it looks lifeless, man.
You want to hear something odd about Bryson?
Tell me something good.
He lost. He only played 2 rounds last week. He's missed 3 cuts in a row. Remember we were by his ball striking at Heritage? Because his ball striking was really good. He lost 4.2 strokes off the tee last week, which is unfathomable for a guy who's one of the best drivers of the ball. It's like when Rahm lost at the PGA or at the PGA Championship. You're like, what's going on here? This guy never loses strokes off the tee. So that could just be like
But he's defending champ.
He's a defending champ, and this isn't a tight course at all. You can just kind of get it out there. You're going to hit the fairways. Now, in 2 rounds, he did gain over 3 strokes on approach. He couldn't putt and couldn't drive.
Oh, I saw him miss something because was in the featured group. Whoever they were showing him with.
I'm not completely I'm not dissuaded. I'd rather bet Bryson than bet Scott. I'd rather bet Woodland over them both, but I'm still kind of looking at, like, I started my card at 33, I go to 50, and that's kind of it for the moment. I could check on another 33 here. The only other guy in this range that I bet List at 90 because, it's me. The only other 3 that I was giving consideration to, Glover, who I think has a good game for here.
Can I guess one?
Yeah.
Kokrak, because it's like double the number.
Yeah.
And he's like, if his form is what it's been, he was been 40-1 with that form forever. Take the shot once it doubles up.
Keegan at 80, I find very intriguing.
His skills work here.
Your boy, Peter Uihlein at 90. 2 starts at this course.
A short
5th.
number.
It is because he has a 5th and 13th here, and he comes in riding good form. He has a 25th and a 5th here, sorry. He comes in with 2 top 15s in a row. Another good week last week. And I guess the other one would be Matthew Fitzpatrick. I always kind of rail against Matthew Fitzpatrick, but he's been playing these longer courses really well. And I'm not going to bet him, but I see the merit to him this week where I don't in other weeks.
I mean, wouldn't last week have set up perfectly for him?
No, because that's the thing. He plays short courses really poorly. He plays long courses really well.
That's like a complete misnomer.
It's just because
like
when
a
you
perception-based thing about the guy.
You see his game and you're like, he's super accurate and he hits a ton of fairways and he's a really good putter. He's been a horrible putter on the PGA Tour. That is a misnomer. But you'd always think like Heritage sets up really well. He never really plays all that well at Heritage. Colonial doesn't play that well at Colonial. Doesn't play that well at Valspar. Or does he play well API? A course where he just had no business contending the Masters. He should have no business ever contending at the Masters. All of a sudden he pops up. He hits long irons really well, and you need to do that this week. Again, I'm not going to bet him. I will bet Luke List right next to him at 90-1, but I thought it was interesting.
First time we're seeing Leishman since a withdrawal, so you got to assume he's...
No, he played the PGA Championship. He withdrew. Byron Nelson played the PGA Championship. Was no good.
Correct.
What's Leishman's number?
60.
I don't hate that number.
Yeah.
He's the best player of those guys.
You can't dispute it. Phil, just look over Phil.
I did want to tell you, I cashed out our Tyrrell Hatton bets.
Okay.
So they were giving me, because we had $50 on him to win at 80-1 each. So I cashed out the 50 because they were offering me $33 because he's now 125-1, but it was a miscalculation. So it should have been like a 31.75 cash out. So I cashed it out and then $33 each back on at 125-1. So we get an extra, I believe it's I don't know, $100 if he wins.
Now, is this U.S. Open or British Open?
U.S. Open is where we have
Because
it
I've
ranked.
also got the British. I got both links opens.
He was good last week.
Good last week. He's got a check mark, a question mark beside him on my page. 75-1.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that, but I'm just encouraged. I just want him to win the U.S. Open. Go win the U.S. Open, Ty Hatton.
Okay, a guy I am potentially really interested in this week. Speaking in third person in his most recent tweets, Haotong.
Haotong's good. Good with the longer irons. I like Haotong.
I don't know. Any?
There's no one else.
I
I mentioned the guys that I like.
Would you like Kevin Na even in like DraftKings? Any love there? We've seen guys win and like not win again, but like play like
well.
very consistently well.
And Nas played well at this course in the past too. This is a place where like bomber, shorter hitter, as long as you can hit a long iron, you're good to go. Like
and quickly back to last week because I wanted to mention it on the show. It felt so. I mean, to hit any winner would just have felt great, but it felt so nice to not just hit the winner, Pat, but hit the first winner at a normal number in what feels like 2 months.
It wasn't 200-1. It wasn't 10-1. It was the guy in the middle.
We've had
where we live.
Tiger Brooks, and then I could be forgetting one, but like Pan, Homa,
Kang, Mitchell.
Well, Mitchell was a bit before.
Mitchell was still 125-1.
Connors.
Yeah.
So it's just, but I'm talking about like the last 2 months have been specifically
favorites or absolute long shots.
Tiger Brooks and like over 150, and it's hard for me. I mean, my 101 bets are already like wasted in like list and and, so there's not really.
So strokes gained approach for coming into this week, past 50 rounds: Hideki, Stenson, Thomas, Kokrak, Tiger, Keegan, Kuchar, Woodland, Youst Loughton, and Patrick Cantlay. Then you got Green, Connors, Rory, Ryan Moore, Ben Ann, and Jim Furyk. Then Adam Scott and Lucas Glover. Those are your top 18 in strokes gained approach. If you go from beyond 200 yards, Woodland, Keegan, and Rory, Michael Kim, Juice Luton, 175 to 200. Leishman, Haotong, Griot. Griot rates out really well. So does
Very
Kokrak.
well.
And Griot does play well at this course. Cantlay, Tiger, Hideki, Every is someone I'm going to give some consideration to. He's missed 4 cuts in a row at this course, but he had a top 10 way back, and his irons are dialed in right now. Gained over 5 strokes on approach his last 2 tournaments. And we know he can get the putter rolling.
Absolutely.
And he loves himself a fast green.
Going back downwards, you think Sabs can keep his hot? I think he's winning. He's on like all these winning DraftKings
Is he going to win like
lineups every week.
I played him last week.
Yeah.
Like he was overpriced. Like no one's going to play Sabatini. I'll play him.
Do you know no one's going to play this week?
Spieth.
Louis.
Yeah, well, okay, there's guys coming off WDs. You got Thomas, Kokrak, Louis, and Pat Perez are all in the field this week. They're all coming off a withdrawal or an injury. I'm surprised we're not seeing Paul Casey either. Guess he still has the flu. Thanks, Paul. Blew up my best lineup too.
Honestly.
Long shots. I like Ben Ann. He was second. He lost in a playoff here last year to Bryson.
Yeah.
He's 100-1. I'll bite on that. I don't care. Siwoo, obviously, 140-1. I bet Nick Watney, 150-1. First tee to green last week, like I mentioned. I don't know if he can keep that going, but 150-1, get the each way. Watney's probably a better top 10, top 20 bet. JB Holmes, I have not bet, but this is kind of JB's course. He can play really well here. He has in the past.
Can I throw a couple at you?
Hit me. Every is the other one.
Now, the scary... If he could keep it out of the bunkers, I think Rafa could have a really solid week.
Yeah, I'm not doing Rafa.
At the hardest bunker course on tour, or one of them.
Yeah, not doing that.
How about the Willett Well? It's a harder course, can play hard. He's off in that very strong PGA Championship.
Maybe?
I mean, I know I had to just bring him up. But a little more seriously...
Over the past 50 rounds, here are the worst guys out of the sand in this field. Charlie Hoffman, Brendan Steele, Sam Burns, Sharma. Man, Sharma's in the field. Wow. Wee Kim, Finau, Haotong, Kisner, VJ, Cam Champ, Norin, Abraham Answer, Danny Willett, Ryan Moore. So you just have to hope that the ball striking is immaculate and they don't put it into these bunkers. Because that's the move. Like, if you put it in the bunkers, you're done.
They keep going backwards with Sung Jae. You just wish he'd take a week off and then give me 150-1.
He's going to win like Barracuda, or one of these crossover
Well, he'll
events.
be like 9-1 at that.
I
crap.
know, but maybe he won't be now. 'Cause
He was on a run for a while where I thought he could get his world ranking like high enough where like he could almost like be into WGC.
I believe he's 70th now. Like he's stalled.
Almost, yeah, he's stalled, but he's still like right there. So that's a big number for a guy that I have bet way shorter. Granted, it seems like he's like losing some energy.
Yeah.
By end, I don't know if he's actually tired.
Low energy Sung Jae. Needs to take a break.
I don't know if he's actually tired. I just mean like there's a lot more red coming up when you look him up than there was like a month
Yeah,
ago.
like it's just
It happens,
I
it
know you're
happens.
20 years old, but like take 2 weeks off. You got some money now.
Austin Cook, great little week, 160-1.
He just
Just what,
demolished
got so
himself
lucky?
on that.
What?
No, on that par 5 on Sunday. He took a 7 on the par 5 on the back, and it was just a disgrace. And maybe he tripled it because he missed like a 2-foot putt after everything went wrong. I like Austin Cook. He's fine. I don't like him here.
This seems like a type of place where after playing horribly for like 5 weeks or almost 2 months, Grace like just shows life.
Yeah, I'm not in on Grace. I could be back in on Connors. Connors was excellent tee to green last week. Guy just couldn't putt. Guy can never putt, but the one time that he did, he won.
Are you worried about Memorial rookies having too many milkshakes?
Maybe Hideki won in his first start here. Like, if you're gonna go with a rookie, that's why I'm not gonna go to Connors. That if you're gonna go with a rookie, it better be a class rookie.
You have 2 Ortizes you could roster this week.
I rostered one of them last week. Not a good choice. I'm just gonna stay away from the Ortizes for a while.
Hey, look who's here. Jack gave him a call. Norman.
Yeah, Big Norm.
Big Norm.
Yeah, great. Someone actually tweeted me. It's like, oh man, like what? I get
Do you
some.
remember Norm?
I
got excited. when
I
he
somehow
showed up.
get lumped into like
people that were excited
oh,
about.
Big Panda. Like fucking Norm. That's his nickname. Fucking Norm, who's terrible.
It's not
Maybe
mine.
he will be good in 2 years. He's not good right
He
now.
came on the scene and PGA Tour like Twitter made like insane, amazing graphics for him. I was like, he must be.
Remember he was in contention at that one that Champ won over the swing season. Then he like melted on the weekend. Like, where's Scotty Scheffler? Get him in here. He just won.
That was a fun bet. Someone had like a $1 Scheffler double.
Yeah, he paid like $800 on a buck.
Scheffler, I always find his shirts are way too big.
Maybe he likes.
I know that's so random, but I saw him again winning, and is like it seems like whatever he's wearing is oversized.
The only other guys I'd give some consideration to, I'll tell you who like the modeling likes.
Kang.
Well, I searched long term. I'll sort it by 100 rounds because once you sort it by 100 rounds with the stats that I use, I mean obviously it's good players that it's going to pop up because they do consistently well, but it's the guys that tend to do well with this course over and over and over and over again. That's why I'm not super down on Uline. But if we look at it like just scrubs who are down in this range.
You know whose name I just saw, which reminded me of my worst Memorial memory?
Dirt McGirt or Lingmirth?
Lingmirth.
He
just hit all those putts in Rose's
we'll give a special
face.
shout out to Cam. Take me to your leader.
Oh, I had Rose that week. Rose's wife is literally and kid are ready to walk onto the green and celebrate, and Lingmirth just starts hitting. I don't know. I don't know specifically.
We made the cop at the time when Lingmirth won, and then he went on a nice little run that he was like the homeless man Spieth because that's how he played.
Yeah. How he won was identical.
But how he kept playing well was identical to how Spieth was playing well. So the guys that the model likes like way down on this list. Keegan rates out 14th. Griot rates out 8th. Over the past 100 rounds. Joel Damon 21st. Keith Mitchell 22nd. Connors 24th. Glover 26th. Sungjae 28th. Sam Ryder 29th. Billy Ho and Adam Hadwin 30th and 31st. Loughton in a limited sample 34th. Better than Leishman, better than Rafa. JB Holmes is up there. Scott Stallings, who I'm not buying into here.
A couple like really long.
Okay, let me ask you this: Duffner's 125-1.
He's
He's on every leaderboard.
He's been on a lot. I just don't have any confidence.
He won this tournament losing strokes putting 2 years ago.
That's so not normal. Okay, on that note, because all the hyperbole or the stuff with Spieth's putting this week, there was a guy, Paul Waring in Europe, made a comment. He tweeted that he was first in like strokes gained tee to green, strokes gained like approach, and strokes gained like something else that we all deem important.
Yeah.
and he came like 15th. And he's like, do not kid yourself, kids. You are in a professional putting contest.
Okay, so here's the difference. And I feel like he doesn't grasp what we talk about when we talk about tee to green. Like, I find that ball striking is what are you looking at behind me?
I was just Jean-Claude's abs.
Oh, yeah. The blood sport abs?
You were like blocking them, and then you leaned in, and it just came like right into my focus.
Turn you on a little bit?
Sometimes.
Washboard. I'd love to have the old 12-pack like JCVD. It'd be fantastic. But as it pertains to like the tee to green versus putting approach, no one is saying that putting isn't important. What people are saying is that putting isn't super predictable.
Yes, it's the least.
And then and it always goes to the case that the worst putter like ever in the field for 4 rounds could be the best putter of that week. And the comp that I always use, it's not to say that tee to green is ultra predictable. It just tends to be a bit more stable, especially off the tee. But when it comes to things like driving distance, Dustin Johnson is going to drive the ball
Spieth
330
will never
yards.
be the best in the field ever. He'll never be top 5 in the field. Byung-Hyun Han might not be the best, but he could be 5th in the field in putting because it's
a random week. That's the difference.
The
so
skill set,
that's
yes.
the part that he doesn't quite grasp. And that's not what he's talking to. No one is saying that putting doesn't matter.
I think
putting doesn't matter, particularly when you're trying to project out, because it's a really hard thing to project because it's so random. Where the other stuff is less random, so we gravitate towards those and deem them important. But if you really want to go look at it, and you go look at your leaders tee to green for the year and your leaders putting for the year, it's a bunch of like duds and a bunch of awesome players on one side. Yes. So you tell me what's important.
Yes. Absolutely. I'm not arguing. I completely agree. And I think not only does he fail to grasp that, I think a lot of like Spieth fans who want to like argue on the hill to the death for him, which a 3-time major champion at his age, you're allowed to do. You're allowed to. I'm a fan of losers. So you can certainly love a guy as accomplished as Jordan Spieth if I don't like him. But I think sometimes they fail to grasp that. And that, I think, is maybe the best way it's been articulated. Is the worst putter could be the 8th best putter in the field one week.
Now,
Jordan Spieth will never be the 8th best guy off the tee in a tournament.
I mean, yes, he could. He most definitely. He's been that before. He just won't lead it in driving distance.
Sorry. I didn't mean total stroke. Yes, distance.
Yeah, but he can get his, like, he's been at that peak before, tee to green. He can get that back. It's not gone forever. It's just, can that match up with the putting at the same time? Like when Jason Day went on that run, when he won like 7 times in 10 starts, won the PGA Championship, he made every single putt. But his tee to green game was also very good at the same time.
To your point that you sort of made off the top, Jordan had like, what happens when Jordan starts hitting some approaches to 6 feet? Granted, that is a bit of a bugaboo range, but he'd make enough of them and is still able to drop in. Maybe not 12 50-footers like it felt like he did last week, but like
2 of them.
4 of them.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Then all of a sudden, you're huge.
That's everything. That is everything.
So
I don't doubt
just
that.
as an example, last week at Charles Schwab, Spieth led in puttings, plus 7.5 strokes gained. Na was second. He had plus 7 strokes gained. Then it was Bo Hostler, who came 40th. Aaron Badley, who came 48th. Scott Piercy, who came 19th. Chesson Hadley, who came 31st. And Russell Knox, who came 8th. If we sort by tee to green,
It's amazing how
it goes Watney, who came 8th, Na, who came 1st, Sabatini came 6th, Blix came 5th, Palmer came 6th, Pan came 3rd, Horschel came 19th, Putnam came 3rd, Finau came 2nd. Those are your leaders in tee to green last week. Putting matters, obviously. Na, that's how Na won.
Yeah, but
Na was great tee to green, and he was good putting. He put them together. He got a victory.
But Bo Hostler is last year's one of the best putters on tour, continues to be a putter.
And does nothing.
He can't hit an approach for his life. Like, for his life, this guy couldn't put something tight. It feels like. Since Poulter yamanned him in the face in Houston last year, he's been just a different... I'd love to see him get going, though.
All right, quick picks for me.
2 more bombs.
Okay, we have to actually get out of here because I have to go.
Varner a PGA that was mirrored in that horrible last round, 200-1.
Never missed a cut here either.
That seems strong.
It seems like a top 20 bet if you're going to make it.
Okay, fine. And a guy keeps going back, but I don't think like distance is his game. Kyung Hun could be real sneaky here.
KH really let me down last week. But every time I say that, then don't bet him. He ends up in contention the next week. But again, probably a better top 20 bet than...
Granted, I'll probably bet neither of them.
Okay. Quick picks for the Memorial. I am going Gary Woodland, 33-1. Henrik Stenson, 50-1 with an each way. And I got my collection of losers of List, Ann, and Siwoo Kim. That's 90, 100, and 140. 140 for Siwoo.
We didn't talk about that.
We're back to Siwoo. He was like the worst guy in the field last week.
I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
That's
for him.
what he does.
But if we're saying that about Siwoo, you got to say it about Spieth too.
Yeah, I agree, but he's 16 to 1.
Yeah. And Siwoo drops to 140. I'm all over that. And I bet Nick Watney at 150. The other guys I'm giving some consideration to. Keegan, Uline, and Matt Every. Those would all be bombs. I might jump back up into that like 20 to 40 range or 20 to 60 range. I'm not sure yet. My betting cheat sheet will be out on Wednesday as usual, despite the fact that I will not be doing a live chat or be doing the DraftKings show. You.
Bets in would be Woodland and List. I'm going to bet Gro.
In Stenson.
I do really like Stenson. I'm going to look at it closer because I do like it.
That number gonna be gone soon, by the way.
Okay. You could have pushed me over the edge there. You mentioned it. Every metric has just been like pointing up for so long.
And he can't, like, he's been off the tee, but this course actually lends itself to what he does.
I am very intrigued by Xander.
Okay.
He wasn't even listed. I know Xander, super fan, our boy Nagels Bagels. He pointed this out, and he takes offense to every disrespect Xander gets. But to be fair, I don't know, he's just not as popular. They listed yesterday during the broadcast about 15 names in the field for the Memorial and sort of hyping it up.
And he wasn't one of them?
He was not on the list. Anyway, like Xander, there's a cut involved, so
you like Cantlay, but you're not betting him at 20 to 1.
I can't bet him. I would rather bet Fowler.
I think I would too.
I would rather.
I like Finau
bet
too.
Fowler.
And I'm not betting him at 20 to 1.
I need Mullet May to end though.
You need to get that out of your system.
I need, like, before I can enjoy watching Ricky again, I need Mullet May to be over.
He looks like he has a better chance of winning a NASCAR race.
So
right now
hopefully, by the time the weekend comes around, it's June.
it is.
Okay, so we could be on to something back there.
One and done.
Leishman also deserves like a double, triple look.
One and done for the Memorial. You won last week. It is your pick, sir. I have no idea who I pick. I might have to throw like 3 names here and go down a list.
You know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I haven't used them. I should save them for that big one coming up, though. Debating whether I'm going to drop Ricky or just save him for the U.S. Open.
He's got a better chance of winning this week.
I would agree. So we'll, yeah. You know what? I'll drop Ricky after a miscut. He's gonna roar it.
Ricky, I feel like I've used Woodland, so I can't do that. I'm guessing. I'm going to preliminarily say Woodland, but if I have used him, I'll use this guy's 12 to 1. I'll use Tiger Woods. Can't remember if I've used Tiger or not. And if I haven't used Tiger, I'll kick myself in the teeth and I'll use...
I don't think you've used Tiger.
I don't think I've used him either, but just in the off chance that I have. I mean, I'll update it on the cheat sheet and make the pick there. I'll take I don't know.
I don't think
Scott
we
or
talked
something.
about Tiger enough today, but...
I like Tiger's chances this week. I really do. Like I mentioned, he lost 8 strokes putting last year. Like, it's not going to happen again.
It's a Tiger track.
Although since 2012, 2 of his 4 worst putting performances have come at this course.
Also wider fairways. We mentioned if I could have anyone in the world maybe hit me an iron shot today,
It's him.
It probably is him.
That's the whole reason.
I could just blow up everything. Woodland, Griot, Tiger list.
All right, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Any advice for bringing my baby on a plane for the first time?
I told you, bring just a couple extra shirts. Like, you bring your change of clothes and then bring an extra change on top
My
of
wife
that.
was very happy. She likes Kevin Na now.
Oh, yeah. Listen, you're rooming it.
I used my money to upgrade to first class.
You get, they treat you well with at least you sort of priority like security. They let you get right through. Kid's a champ. He'll be money.
All right, I hope so. Geoff Fienberg, follow him on Twitter at GFienberg17. Anything else?
No, go Raptors.
Go Raptors.
Yeah.
Don't get swept. Hashtag don't get swept.
Yeah, don't get swept.
I'm Pat Mayo. You can follow me at PME. Like I mentioned, golf today, football tomorrow, Cast Corner, a good one on Wednesday, UFC Thursday, the challenge on Friday. I got you covered all week, despite the fact that I'm not going to be around. Smash the like, leave your DraftKings handle in the comments section, and give me your one and done for a DK draw of $20. We'll announce the winner on next week's show. We went early this week. I get back next Monday morning, so we'll be going later next Monday, so that's where the show is. And if you ask me where the DraftKings show is this week, and you tell me you're a big fan of the show, you're a fucking liar. I'm going to block you, because I don't ever want to hear from you again, because you're lying. Don't need to hear that. All right? I'm Pat Mayo. Good luck at the Memorial. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!